Welcome to the Padres Postgame Show on the Padres Radio Network. Coming up, we'll deliver a full recap of today's game, including highlights from the biggest moments. We'll take a trip down to the manager's office to hear from Mike Shildt. Plus, we'll bring you scores from around Major League Baseball. The Padres Postgame Show starts now on the Padres Radio Network.
The comeback kids were at it once again. This time in Pittsburgh, the Padres beat the Pittsburgh Pirates 7-6 in this series finale. Padres sweep this three-game series in Pittsburgh. They've won 5 in a row. They're 12 games above 500. The Padres have won 14 of their last 16 games. Sam Levitt with you inside our San Diego studios. Welcome in to our post-game coverage. Let's recap this game from start to finish.
What moments had the biggest impact on today's game? We'll paint you a picture with our game recap on the Padres Radio Network.
We begin all the way back in the top of the first inning. Pirates righty Luis Ortiz on the mound. With one out, Ortiz hit Jurickson Profar in nearly the same spot he got hit last night. On that front leg, Profar stayed in, and then 2 batters later, Manny Machado made him pay.
2-2, the pitch. Machado swings, hits it in the air to deep left field. De La Cruz is back. He looks up. This one gonna go. 2-run homer, Manny Machado. And the Padres strike in the first inning. Profar a big clap as he rounds third. Little peek at the Pirate dugout. And Machado an awfully slow home run trot as the Padres take a 2-0 lead.
Manny's 18th home run of the season. Padres had the early 2-0 lead. Fast forward to the top of the second, Jackson Merrill hit a leadoff single. David Peralta was next.
Here's the 0-1. Peralta swings, sends it in the air, deep down the right field line, aiming for the pole. This one is gonna go! Home run, David Peralta. Took aim for the Allegheny River in right, a 2-run shot, and freight train time here in Pittsburgh as the Padres double their lead 4-0.
Randy Vasquez was really, really good today through 5 innings. He got this game into the 6th inning with the Padres still leading 4-0. Luis Ortiz also settled in. He gave up the 2 early home runs, but that was it in his 6 innings of work. We went to the bottom half of the 6th inning. Vasquez back on the mound. Again, the Padres up 4-0. He allowed a leadoff single to Brian Reynolds. Reynolds went to second on a wild pitch. O'Neal Cruz was at the plate.
So 2-1 pitch in on a line to right center field. That is a bullet. And it is up against the wall on the fly. Merrill gets to it quickly, sends it to second, the tag, and he's out! O'Neal Cruz thrown out at second base by Jackson Merrill. Reynolds, of course, comes in to score. And now a 4-1 Padre lead in the 6th inning.
Pirates weren't done. A pair of 2-out singles put runners on first and third. The Padres then went to veteran righty Carl Edwards Jr. to make his Padres debut after getting his contract selected earlier today. He came on to face Ke'Bryan Hayes, and then this happened.
First and third, 2 outs. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Outside off the glove of Higashioka. Tellez will rumble home and score. It's a 4-2 game.
So it was a 4-2 game. Edwards then issued a walk. Ji-Hwan Bae was next.
Bae, a left-handed batter, is grounded out twice. First pitch swinging, ground ball through the left side, and a base hit. De La Cruz rounding third. He's going to score. RBI single, Ji-Hwan Bae, and a 1-run game here in the bottom of the 6th.
Things did not get better for Edwards. He walked Michael A. Taylor, and it was not a great debut for Edwards. The Pirates had the bases loaded. Mike Shildt then went to Yuki Matsui to face the leadoff man, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa.
Matsui ready, the little lefty delivers. And a ground ball tapped to the left of the mound. Manny charging it, goes to the backhand. Throw to first is in time! Matsui jumps in the air, spins around, and high-fives Machado, who just made a gold glove play to finally bring the 6th inning to a close.
Padres still led 4-3. Great play by Manny to keep the Padres ahead. Dennis Santana and Jalen Beeks combined to throw a scoreless top of the 7th inning for Pittsburgh. Yuki Matsui came on in the bottom half of the inning. He allowed a 1-out single. Then it was Joey Bart.
He is running, and a 3-2 hit in the air to left center field. That's way back. Joey Bart sends it towards the gap and gone. A 2-run home run over the 4-10 sign in left center field. The Pirates lead for the first time today.
Matsui would get out of the inning with it still being a one-run game. Aroldis Chapman tossed a 1-2-3 top of the 8th inning. Jason Adam threw a scoreless bottom half of the 8th inning. The 0 from Adam ended up being really important because then Pirates closer David Bednar came on. For the top of the 9th inning, the Padres started to make noise. Xander Bogaerts reached on a little dribbler on the left side of the infield. Jackson Merrill walked. Bednar bounced back to strike out David Peralta, but he then walked Ha-Sung Kim. The bases were loaded. 1 out, Padres down by 1. Top of the 9th inning, Kyle Higashioka stepped in.
And now 1-0 to Higashioka. The pitch. Swung on, hit on the ground to the right side. To his left, Kiner Falefa has it. To second one, Cruz to first, throws it away. Bogaerts had already scored. Now Merrill will come in. The Padres go in front. It's 6-5.
Another blown save for David Bednar and just a crucial throwing error from O'Neal Cruz. Looking at the high home angle of that play, may have been a bang-bang play at first base. Maybe Higashioka beats it out and the tying run comes in. But again, the throwing error by Cruz allowed the go-ahead run to score. And for Bednar, his second blown save in as many days. Higashioka then stole second. Luis Arraez was at the plate.
Higashioka at second, 2 down. Here's the 3-2. Arraez swings in the air to deep right center field. Bay was shallow. He's got to go back. It's going to be over his head and rolling up against the wall. Higashioka scores easily. An RBI double for Arraez, and the Padres add on. It's 7-5.
Robert Suarez entered for the bottom half of the 9th inning, trying to protect a 7-5 lead. He got the first 2 outs. Joey Bart then hit a hustle double. Rowdy Tellez hit an RBI single to score Bart. It was 7-6 with 2 outs in the bottom half of the 9th inning. Jared Triolo pinch ran for Tellez at first base. He represented the tying run. Brian De La Cruz dug in, representing the winning run. Padres ahead 7-6, 2 outs, bottom of the 9th inning. Suarez got ahead of De La Cruz.
Triolo big lead at first base. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Suarez slams the door, and the Padres will sweep the Pirates for the first time here since 2011. They will take out their brooms and swab the decks as they hold on for a 7-6 win to cap an absolutely loony 3 days here in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, Jesse put it perfectly. It was a loony, bizarre 3 days in Pittsburgh, but you know what? The Padres get 3 wins, and you'll certainly take it despite the bizarre nature of some of these games. Final score on this Thursday afternoon in Pittsburgh. Morning time here on the West Coast. Padres 7 and the Pirates 6. Final totals for the Padres: 7 runs, 7 hits, no errors. For the Pirates, 6 runs, 12 hits, and 1 error. Padres are 12 games above 500 at 64-52. Pirates dropped to 56-58. Winning pitcher in this game, Jason Adam, who improves to 6-2. Losing pitcher in the blown save goes to David Bednar. He's 3-4. Robert Suarez, his 25th save of the season. When we come back on our post-game coverage, we'll continue to break down this game. We'll hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt coming up in just a little while, so stay tuned for that. May take some of your phone calls coming up a little bit later as well, 833-288-0973. Full look at the out-of-town scoreboard as we wrap this one up. Padres have won 5 in a row, 14 of 16. They are 14-3 since the All-Star break, and at the moment, they are just 2.5 games back of the LA Dodgers for first place in the National League West. And at the moment, they also hold the top spot in the NL Wild Card standings, the number 1 wild card spot. Dodgers, D-backs, they play a little bit later, but Padres did their part today. They beat the Pirates again in comeback fashion, 7-6. Our post-game show continues after this on the Padres Radio Network. Our post-game show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Sam Levitt with you inside our San Diego studios as we wrap this one up. The Padres sweep the Pittsburgh Pirates in a 3-game series. They win this series finale by a final score of 7-6. Padres trailed 5-4 entering the top half of the 9th inning. They find a way to come back and win it. The Padres living right now. They are 14-2 in their last 16 games. They are 14-3 since the All-Star break. The Padres now 12 games above 500, 64-52 their record. Sam Levitt with you inside our San Diego studios as we wrap this one up. We'll hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt coming up in just a minute, so stay tuned for that. One correction to something I said right before the break. I did not realize the Dodgers do not play today. So the Padres will indeed end today 2.5 games out of first place in the National League West. A Dodger team that is not playing well right now, a Dodger team that lost to the Phillies yesterday. Now, the Diamondbacks, who the Padres came into today, tied for the top wild card spot with. They do play today in Arizona against the Phillies. So the Diamondbacks have a tough week here, tough series, 4 games against the Phillies, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The Dodgers will resume their schedule tomorrow. Dodgers take on the Pirates in L.A. So, again, Padres will have an opportunity, depending on what Arizona does later, to be all alone in the top wild card spot in 2.5 games out of first place in the NL West on August 8th. Folks, that is not nothing. The Padres are well within striking distance right now, and they hold the tiebreaker, and we've got a long way to go, and the Dodgers are not playing well right now, really, at all. So this is getting really interesting. It's getting really fun. The Padres are playing great baseball, and they sweep the Pirates, like Jesse said in the final call in our last segment, for the first time since 2011. Let's go back to PNC Park in Pittsburgh. Padres win it 7-6 against the Pirates, and here's some post-game reaction.
Let's pull up a seat in the manager's office and hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt. Presented by Sinley Food. Spice up your culinary life.
Mike, the ability to come from behind, what does it kind of say about this group?
Yeah, grit squad. Strikes again. Just hunger for competition, hunger for winning games. I can't say enough about it. On display. It's on display at the end of games, but it's just on display the whole game, which makes it special too.
Is that, there's been some times where you've kind of been given out here or there, and it seems like almost every time you've managed to take advantage of it. Like, what does that come from? Is that philosophy? Is that just these guys?
Well, I think it's, we have the little another saying, we take everything and give nothing away, and, that's what pure competition's about. So we're just looking to do that as consistently as possible. When opportunities present themselves, we take advantage.
I know things got a little rocky today. How pleased are you? Your bullpen had to just sort of get to the end.
Yeah, we just had to get to the end. We had 5 guys down. We bring Edwards up. So we've got wasn't a lot of pieces down there to pick from. But the guys we have, we trusted. The decision with Edwards to come up, multi-rolled guy. We didn't want to be called. Jacob's done a great job. We all know that. That was a tough send. But we needed, in case something happened early, we needed a length. And, good thing about CJ is he's, and I've witnessed it firsthand, he's pitched in some high leverage situations in the bullpen. He's and also been built up to start, so his pitch count was up to 65, 70, so he had length. And also he was clearly our guy that if we need some help, in the right-hand lane to finish out, like the 6th especially, that was going to be his spot. Vasquez was really good, man. He was cruising, and then they started putting some good swings on him, so started getting some good contact. So, but he more than did his job to help the bullpen and give us a chance of what we did, and that was win a baseball game.
Jacob, just the casualty of he just pitched, and he's a young guy with options.
That's casualty of that. He's pitched well, just pitched. We need a fresh arm, and he had options. So that's just how the roster works sometimes. Pitched last night. Again, we needed a fresh arm. And good job for Adam, man. Did a great job coming in, grabbing that 8th, and then Suarez brought it home.
How nice is it to have Manny Machado that plays like that final out for Yuki in the 6th?
Yes, one of my defensive notes. We won on a lot of areas today, but what I don't want it to be overlooked is Manny's play in the sixth. Man, another gem. He's taking runs off the board and putting outs on it, and Jackson's throw, that was huge. That was a big play as well. And eliminated some damage there. So actually, Pro made a really nice throw in the ninth and kicked it out of his glove, it looked like. But the defense was on point and helped us win a ball game.
I think Victor's Victor's fond of saying, maybe you are too, just score one more run than the other team. When you get wins like this, what does it do to, as far as reinforcing the approach you guys have had?
Yeah, it's interesting. With Victor, we share a lot of space for years ago, but hadn't spent a lot of time in the professional game together, which thankfully we're getting to do now. And he says it, and I've said it for years. It's a little catchphrase, just one more. We just need to find a way to get one more. And so when we finalized Victor, he's like, my friend, we just need to score one more. That's the goal every day. And it was like, man, that's my dude.
That was back in December or January.
Yes, sir. And he says it a lot, and it's got a lot of wisdom.
This question is not based on the performance today. It's based on what you guys went through the last 2 days. What do you think the level of kind of being tired today was?
Yeah, that's the thing about it. It's every game is its own entity, but there are games that residual effects. We start the trip. That's why I say Team Grid Squad, man. It's like the heart, desire, dedication, 1 through 26, because that's what this whole series took every single guy on this roster. You look back at the contributions throughout this roster, it was complete contribution from every single guy. Maury Hohen getting his first save, Vasquez doing what he did to get us in the late innings. In the bullpen, Hoeing, first game, grabbing 3 2/3, which really continued to set us up for yesterday, even though we were compromised, and then set us up for today because he was able to shave off innings. Guys able to go 1+ multiple times. So, look at Wadey, what he did coming in. Solana does his thing, but, everybody was on point, 1 through 26. That's what it takes.
Perez, Waldron, Cease, as far as?
Yes. Thanks, AJ.
Profar, just into a run of.
Yeah, they're pitching him tough. We don't feel like there's a lot of intent there, but it gets old after a while. He translated for me after the second when Ricky came out, and he turned to me, he said something to Ricky, and he turned to me, he goes, "Pinata?" I'm like, yeah. So, but he took exception with it as I did as well. But anyway, we move on. He's a tough hombre, man. I love that guy. He's got the heart of a lion.
That was Padres manager Mike Shildt after this win, 7-6 against the Pittsburgh Pirates as the Padres sweep this 3-game series. Sam Levitt back with you inside our San Diego studios as we continue our post-game coverage. You heard there towards the end, Padres rotation for the series in Miami will be Martin Perez, followed by Matt Waldron, and then Dylan Cease. So that would presumably mean that Joe Musgrove, I would guess, would be Monday against the Pirates at home. Again, unconfirmed there, but that's kind of what you would think, that Joe Musgrove would return on Monday. So again, the rotation for the series in Miami, Perez, Waldron, and Cease. Let's quickly touch on a couple of things that Mike Shildt talked about there. Number one, just the comments at the end about Profar getting hit by 2 more pitches in this game. The thing you loved about the game early was Profar gets hit in nearly the same spot in the first inning. And then Manny Machado, as he's done before, backs up his guy, steps to the plate, and hits a 2-run home run. And the Padres, just like that, had a 2-0 lead, and Manny took his time around the bases, rightfully so. So you love that. This was such a weird series. And in the context of today, we told you pregame, and it was a major question / concern / theme of this series finale. You knew the Padres were going to have to get it done differently in their bullpen today because Jeremiah Estrada had pitched back-to-back days. Adrian Morejon had pitched back-to-back days. Tanner Scott had pitched back-to-back days. Alec Jacob getting optioned back to AAA before the game. Carl Edwards Jr. had his contract selected. Yuki Matsui pitching yesterday. Robert Suarez appearing yesterday, although he threw 6 pitches. You knew one way or another they were going to have to get through this game a little bit differently in the bullpen. Now, look, Carl Edwards Jr. had a rough Padres debut. He comes in the game in the 6th inning, relieving Vasquez, the walk, the wild pitch, the RBI single for Bay, then another walk. He leaves with the bases loaded. Manny Machado makes a great play once Matsui comes in to help the Padres out of the inning and kept them in front at the time 4-3. Then Yuki Matsui gives up the go-ahead home run in the 7th inning. It was not a perfect day for the bullpen, but what you love about this win is that despite the Padres on a day where you knew they were going to have to, in some way, shape, or form, do it differently in the bullpen, and the bullpen gave up the lead. The Padres led this game 4-0. They couldn't hold it. At the end of the day, they found a way. They found a way in the 9th inning to score 3 runs. They found a way to tack on even after they had the error by Cruz that led to the tying and go-ahead run scoring. Guess what? That RBI double by Luis Arraez, it was really important. That was a huge insurance run because the Pirates got a run in the bottom half of the 9th inning to make it 7-6 against Robert Suarez. That RBI double and the stolen base by Higashioka right before it, that ended up being a huge, huge moment in this game and gave the Padres an insurance run, a 2-run lead, and they ended up really needing that insurance run. So you love this win for that reason. You knew they would have to do it differently in the bullpen today. You knew there was uncertainty there. The bullpen between them and between Vasquez, who's really good, by the way, through 5 innings, then just kind of ran out of gas in the 6th inning, got in trouble. Edwards didn't help. They could not hold that 4-0 lead, but they still found a way to win this game, and that's what a good team does. And right now, the Padres aren't playing like a good team. They're playing like a great team. 14-2 in their last 16 games, 14-3 since the second half of the season started. So they're just playing great baseball. And if you want to just look at this series overall, I think what you love about this series, and Mike Shildt alluded to it in the post-game press conference, it was a true team effort night in, night out. You think about the first game of this series, the rain delay, Dylan Cease only goes 1 inning. The Padres needed to use 5 different relievers that combined to throw 8 scoreless innings on Tuesday in that win. And the Padres offense took care of business, and they won it pretty easily, 6-0. But 8 innings out of the bullpen. A guy like Brian Hoeing, who didn't think he was going to come in the 2nd inning, that's a great job by the bullpen on Tuesday. You think about yesterday's game. The Padres tying it in the 9th inning, the back-and-forth nature, the wackiness of the game. Guys like Tyler Wade and Ha-Sung Kim, and the list goes on and on. David Peralta contributing offensively at different points of this series. The bullpen yesterday, a guy like Adrian Morejon having just a huge moment. I mean, you think about that, it really was a 26-man effort these last 3 days, and today was included, right? Sure, they got the offense from Manny, from Peralta, but they needed Randy Vasquez to go out and give them 5 scoreless innings to start the game to make sure this wasn't going to be, hey, it was hard enough to get through this game with where their bullpen was, but imagine if Randy Vasquez doesn't give you 5 scoreless innings to begin the game. So, again, you look at this 3-game series, it's a really good sweep, and I think it's a really, really good 3 wins because it took pretty much everybody on the roster to get it done. These were some weird games. The rain delay Tuesday, a nearly 4-hour, wacky, weird, back-and-forth affair on Wednesday. And then here today, you're trailing in the 9th inning, your bullpen's in a bad spot, and you just find a way. And that is what a great team does. We'll step aside. When we come back, we'll get into some of our daily awards. We'll also start taking your phone calls at 833-288-0973. Final score, the Padres win it in Pittsburgh here today by a final score of 7-6, a 3-game sweep of the Pirates. Padres have won 5 in a row. More post-game after this on the Padres Radio Network. Our post-game show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Sam Levitt with you inside our San Diego studios. Final score, Padres 7 and the Pirates 6. Another come-from-behind win for the Padres in Pittsburgh in what was a wacky, weird series, bizarre at times series, but the Padres taking advantage of their opportunities. An error in the top of the ninth inning, a throwing error by O'Neal Cruz that allowed the go-ahead run to score. Padres would get another run in the ninth inning, ended up being a 3-run top of the ninth inning after they entered that ninth inning trailing by 1. And Robert Suarez picks up his 25th save of the season. Padres get their first 3-game sweep of the Pirates since 2011. First 3-game sweep in Pittsburgh since 2011. Padres have won 14 of 16. They are 14-3 in the second half of the season. We'll get some of your phone calls here in a second. 833-288-0973. Chris Ello, Matt Scraby, they are in the building, I believe, and they'll come your way towards the very top of the hour. Let's tell you about today's relief pitcher of the game.
Which pitcher was able to come in and slam the door shut? It's time for the relief pitcher of the game in support of the Jacobs and Cushman San Diego Food Bank, providing food assistance to local children, families, and seniors in need. To get help or give help, visit SanDiegoFoodBank.org.
Our relief pitcher of the game today, you could go two ways with it, and I'll break down each option. You could give it to Robert Suarez because he picked up the save and had to deal with the tying and winning run at the plate. Tying run on base, winning run at the plate in that bottom half of the ninth inning. But Suarez did give up a run. He did have a 2-run lead to work with in that ninth inning. The guy who had the cleanest outing of this game, no doubt, was Jason Adam. Adam had a scoreless inning in the 8th, and why do I give it to him as well? And we'll have our relief pitcher of the game be Jason Adam today. Little spoiler for you. But I give it to him because not only was it the only real clean appearance of this game, but it was also a big appearance. Bottom half of the 8th inning, Padres are trailing by 1. You're trying to keep it just a 1-run deficit, and that's exactly what he did. He gave the Padres their best chance to come back, tie the game, take a lead in the top of the 9th inning. So for that reason, Jason Adam, that scoreless bottom half of the 8th inning, our relief pitcher of the game. By the way, totally non-baseball related, but we're sort of fixated on it here in the studio. Serbia leading Team USA men's basketball in the third quarter by 14. Wow. Chris Ello already here in the building. He's into it. Why not?
Cheering for Serbia.
All right. They'll talk plenty about that. We'll keep talking Padres here on the Padres Radio Network. Now, don't, just because I talked about that, don't go, stop listening to us. If you want to flip the TV on, take a look at it. Just make sure you keep listening to our post-game coverage. Let's go to the phones, 833-288-0973. The phone number, 833-288-0973 after this great Padres win. Great Padres a few days in Pittsburgh as they sweep the Pirates. Let's lead things off here today. Brock calling in from San Diego. Hi, Brock. You're on the Padres post-game show. What's up?
Hey, Sammy. How's it going?
Doing well.
So I just wanted to touch on, obviously the past couple of days, feels like almost the past month, we've just been the back end of the game. We've just been killing it. And that's not a bad place to be. I actually think that's, a better place to be because then you can wrap it up and you get a better sense of what you actually need to do to secure the win. What do you think is like the biggest factor to just that end of the game, just winning it like that, just tying it together? Because it seems like last year we had a huge problem with that.
Yeah, Brock, look, this team really on two ends has been really, really good. They continue to rise to the occasion on so many nights as far as big hits and big spots, the ability to come back. My goodness, we've seen it at home. We saw it the last 2 games in Pittsburgh. The thing you don't want to overlook as well, and every time there's a hiccup in the bullpen, like there were a couple in the bullpen today, everybody gets all over this bullpen. nobody seems to remember like some of the great work this bullpen does at times. The fact that this bullpen threw 8 scoreless innings on Tuesday night. The bullpen, yeah, there were shaky moments yesterday, but they found a way to close out the game, hang on to the lead. Look, when you're coming back in games as consistently as the Padres are, it doesn't mean your bullpen's going to be perfect, but it does mean that they've got to be, for the most part, good enough to keep you in games. And it does seem like on a lot of occasions, this bullpen gets some big outs and throws up zeros to keep them in games. I mean, you can point to, let's say, the game where Waldron gave up 5 runs in the first inning against the Dodgers. Just that as an example. Padres come back and win that game. That was last Tuesday at Petco Park. Well, Waldron settled in, and then the bullpen made sure to throw up zeros, and it was never more than a 5-run deficit. They chipped away, tied it in the 9th inning, and ultimately Solano wins it with a base hit. So, look, you have to have the ability to come up with big swings and big moments and rise to the occasion, which this offense continues to do time and time again. But you also need, I think, a lot of times your pitching staff also to keep you in games, and they've done a really good job at that all the way around. Let's go to Wyatt calling in from Spring Valley. Hi, Wyatt.
Hey, Sammy. Thank you for taking my call. What
You
a
got
crazy few games this series, huh?
Yeah, it was weird. Weird, wacky, and wild.
For sure. Yeah, no, when Manny's making errors yesterday, you know there's something weird in the air.
Made a great defense. I'll tell you what, Wyatt. I'll let you go ahead here in a second. The play Manny made in this game in the 6th inning. Now, I know Matsui came back out, gave up the 2-run home run, and the Pirates took the lead anyway. But at the time in the 6th inning, that play he made on that little roller with the bases loaded to end the 6th and keep the Padres ahead 4-3, that was a big play. I know Manny made an error yesterday on a routine ground ball, which you almost never see, but his defense the last couple of weeks has been exceptional. Made the error yesterday, but aside from that, his defense has been stellar. Go ahead.
Yeah, I would agree. I feel like I was more energetic than Matsui was, and I wasn't even playing in the game. So, but to touch on the bullpen, I really like what Felder did at the trade deadline. I feel like over the past few years, he makes some moves where we deal some top prospects for guys we don't need, but he got exactly what we needed for this team to win now at the deadline, and it's paying dividends. It's like a battle of the bullpen this weekend, and I feel like if he hadn't made those moves, we definitely don't get the sweep this weekend, let alone a series win. So I was really impressed by the bullpen.
Yeah, look, the bullpen the last couple of days, and thank you for the call, Wyatt. The bullpen the last couple of days, it was up and down. It was not perfect, but look, in an ideal world, and we've discussed it at length, in an ideal world, what it means is that you have a deep, good bullpen, and you can move guys up like an Estrada, like a Morahone to earlier innings. You can cut games shorter. Your starters don't have to go as deep. All those things. It sort of all presented itself in a different way these last couple of games. But again, I know the bullpen wasn't perfect these last 2 days, but these were weird games, and they kept the Padres in them enough to win it and hold on to the lead like in a game like last night. So, look, the bullpen, I think we still haven't seen the best of this quote-unquote new-look pen, but I think over the next 40-plus games, I do think it's going to be a big factor and a big deal, and ultimately it will be a much better, deeper pen. Let's go to Jeff calling in. Hi, Jeff. You're on the Padres postgame show. What's up?
Sammy, oh my God, if the call drops out, it means that I had a heart attack and passed out from watching these 3 games against the Pirates.
Yeah, they were wild.
But,
we were tensed up here in the studio for sure.
But Sammy, one thing I've noticed this series, and then when you think about all year, this Padres team does not make the other team comfortable ever. And as soon as they get comfortable, we got you. I mean, think back to the Cubs, up 8-0. They were probably really confident. Nope, we came back and got them. Dodgers 5-0, same thing. Feel comfortable, it's over. So the second the opposing team feels any sort of comfortability, it's over. And I don't think the Pirates were ever comfortable in this series.
Yeah.
And look what happened.
Yeah, Jeff, it's a good point. And look, that's what you have when you have a team that has shown the ability to fight back, to battle back, as cliche as it sounds. But when this team continues to do that time after time, I mean, I can't be alone. Even as they went to the ninth inning, considering some of the struggles, the struggles, the shakiness that David Bednar, and David Bednar is a good closer. He's had a rough little stretch here. But I can't be alone. You just don't feel like the game's over. Like once Xander got on with the little dribbler, the infield single, and then Merrill walks, you're thinking there in that spot, hey, they've got a real shot to go win this game. So, look, they continue late in games to not make closers very comfortable, to use your word. And it's been a lot of fun to watch. And they do give you that feeling that they are never out of a game, even when they trail, like that game against the Dodgers last week. Even when they trail, they find a way to chip away. You just feel like they're not out of games. And they put pressure on the opposing team. Look, they needed some help in that ninth inning today. O'Neal Cruz, that's a bad play by Cruz. He's got to put that ball in his pocket or at least make a throw on target. Now, looking at the high home angle of that play, I think it probably is a bang-bang play at first base. Maybe Higgy beats it out. Maybe the game is tied anyway. But Cruz made a critical error there. You cannot throw that ball away and allow the go-ahead run to score, and that's what he did. So that's a critical error on the part of the Pirates. But the way you get teams to make those kinds of errors, those kinds of miscues, you put pressure on them. You get guys on base. You put the ball in play. And the Padres have put the ball in play for the most part incredibly well this year. The type of offense they bring pretty much every night, it puts pressure on opposing teams, on opposing defense, and it showed up again in the ninth inning in this one. So really good win. We'll continue with your phone calls when we come back. Again, the final score, Padres 7, Pirates 6. Also a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard. Get to our player of the game, play of the game, much more to come as we wrap this one up from the series finale in Pittsburgh, Padres 7, Pirates 6. More postgame after this. Our post-game show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Final score, Padres 7 and the Pirates 6. Sam Levitt with you inside our San Diego studios. As we wrap this one up, it'll be Chris Ello, Matt Scraby coming your way at the very top of the hour. They will have plenty more Padres talk. I have a feeling they're going to talk about this Team USA game coming down to the wire against Serbia. Serbia leading 80-75 with 6:21 left in the fourth quarter of that game. Can Nikola Jokic beat Team USA? That's what we're keeping an eye on right now. So they'll have Padres talk. They'll talk about whatever over the course of 4 or 5 hours starting at 2 p.m. We'll get some more of your phone calls here in a second, 833-288-0973, as we discuss another great Padres win at 7-6 over the Pirates on this Thursday. Padres sweep the Pirates in Pittsburgh for the first time since 2011, and they're playing great baseball right now, winning 14 out of 16, and Padres are 14-3 since the All-Star break. I see some comments in our YouTube chat. Did I say the word comfortability? That doesn't sound like something I would say. The caller said it? Okay. I was like, I don't think I said that. The caller said it. Is that a word? Comfortability? Anybody know? Frank? Chris? Whatever. Let's tell you about our player of today's game.
Which player had the biggest impact on today's game? Let's find out who is today's player of the game. Presented by Valley View Casino and Hotel. Catch every game at Padres and Pirates. Plus, enjoy $4 beer every Thursday. Visit valleyviewcasino.com today.
Here's the 0-1. Peralta swings, sends it in the air, deep down the right field line, aiming for the pole. This one is gonna go! Home run, David Peralta. Took aim for the Allegheny River in right, a 2-run shot, and freight train time here in Pittsburgh as the Padres double their lead 4-0.
David Peralta, our player of the game in this one. Big 2-run home run. Made it a 4-0 game for Peralta. That was home run number 4 in a Padre uniform. Remember, he also had a home run on Sunday against the Rockies. So 2 home runs in the last handful of starts for David Peralta. Made it 4-0. Padres couldn't hold on to that lead. Pirates would come back to make it 5-4, but the Padres getting 3 runs in the 9th inning to ultimately take the lead, and they hang on for a 7-6 win. But Peralta had 2 hits in this game. The home run after Manny hit the 2-run shot in the first inning, and Peralta will be our player of the game. Like I said earlier, that's what you really love, I think, about this game and this series. It was a team effort, and I know that sounds really cliche, but it really was. I mean, think about each game individually, having to get 8 scoreless innings out of the bullpen unexpectedly because of the rain delay on Tuesday. Think about that. Guys like Brian Hoeing throwing 3 2/3 innings out of nowhere. I mean, who could have expected that on a day where Dylan Cease was the starting pitcher? Then yesterday, the back-and-forth nature of the game. Even Tuesday, even beyond the bullpen, you think about what Tyler Wade did with a couple of hits and an RBI and a couple of runs scored. Jackson Merrill with the home runs on Wednesday, the home run to tie it. You think about all the different bullpen guys that played a role. Adrian Morahone hanging on to a 1-run lead yesterday for the save, for his first career save. Again, you just look up and down this roster in this series. There were contributions all over the place, and really what was a weird and wacky series in Pittsburgh. So a lot to like about the way the Padres are playing, and a lot to like about what they did here today and throughout this series. All right, we've got phone lines lighting up. We've got time here until we get to the top of the hour. We'll have the out-of-town scoreboard play of the game coming up as well. But let's run through as many phone calls as we can. Let's go to Rolando calling in from Chula Vista. Hi, Rolando.
How's it going?
Doing all right, Rolando. How are you?
Good. Yeah, the Padres are playing great team baseball. They're playing as a unit. I just have a couple questions. Why does Arias he gets too many days off? He should be in there like every day against righties and lefties. He's a 300 hitter. And why was Dylan Cease not available like the next day or so? He only pitched 1 inning. I'll take your that was my call. So
okay. Yeah, Rolando, let me answer both parts of it. First on Arise. Look, part of the reason he's getting some days is because he continues to deal with that jammed thumb that he's been dealing with for a long time. And look, you can still see it with Luis. There are swings he takes, balls he hits, balls he fouls off even. There are moments where he's clearly still dealing with it. And look, some of the results over the course of the past month or two, it's kind of shown it. He's gone through some tougher stretches that typically he just doesn't go through. So that's part of the answer why there have been some opportune times where, you know what, against the lefty, let's give him a day, maybe after a day off, like they did Tuesday in Pittsburgh. They sat him. Yeah, part of the reason is to give him a couple of days as he continues to deal with what's been sort of a nagging left thumb issue. So that's the reason for Arise. As far as Cease, look, I understand he threw only 14 pitches on Tuesday, but you just don't bounce back and throw a day or two later. It's just not how it goes. And by the way, you have to consider the rest of your rotation, too. Padres don't have an off day for a while here. They decided, to bring him back Sunday, which would have been his day anyway, and they'll go with it from there. But, look, I don't know if Dylan could have come back a little bit earlier, throwing 14 pitches, but it's not the type of thing where you just bounce back. And also, you don't want to create a situation, I think, where you're taking Dylan way out of what his routine's been. I mean, you're getting ready to start every 5 days. And look, they ultimately decided with having Perez available and here now to just pitch him on Sunday. Remember, they also have the Joe Musgrove part of it. They're trying to work Joe back in to the rotation. So I have no problem with it. I really, really don't. And look, maybe in a different scenario, you could have brought Cease back. They didn't feel the need to, and I understand it. Let's go to Scott in Temecula. Hi, Scott.
Hey, Sam. Thanks for taking my call. Just wanted to say a couple things. First of all, incredible job on the rain delay by you. Love the interview with Mark Loretta.
Thanks.
That was really, really insightful. I really appreciate your professionalism there. The way anyway, that was so cool. Especially you guys both going to the same school. That was cool to hear.
Yeah, Loretta he's a great guy, so I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, loved watching Mark play. Second, Merrill has got to be at the top for Rookie of the Year. I know Skeens, everybody keeps pushing him. He might win 10 games, Skeens, and finish with a ERA under 2. But Merrill, 150, 55 games. This kid is, first year playing center field.
Yeah.
Just so clutch. I mean, just incredible jumping from that. The next one, Sam, and last, I keep watching Kim. I love Kim, but man, oh man, this kid, he cannot hit. When you're behind 0-2, 1-2, it seems like almost every at bat, Sam, I'm looking at this guy, I'm thinking, man, you got to get ahead in the count now. Either jump on the first or second pitch, but he's always, you cannot hit major league pitching with an 0-2, 1-2 count. I'll let you answer that if you want to, Sam, off the air. I appreciate you, brother.
All right,
Take
Scott.
care.
All right, Scott. Thanks for the phone call. Look, Kim has had a tougher offensive year. There's no way around it. It has not been what he was a year ago, unfortunately. He's had moments, but, after today, he's in a stretch where he's 1 for 20, I believe, because I think it was, 1 for 17. 1 for his last 20. So it's been a tough stretch as of late for Kim in particular. Look, on your Merrill point, he's been wonderful. He's been absolutely wonderful, and we talked about it a lot last night. You can't say enough. To me, is he having a Rookie of the Year season? Obviously. Absolutely. Now, is he going to win the award with Skeens in the conversation? Certainly. And the narrative around Skeens and the All-Star game start, we'll see. I don't know. There's been seemingly a lot of Skeens momentum for a long time. But let's see. Does Skeens end up, finishing the year? As far as if the Pirates don't make a run here, would they at some point maybe shut him down to limit his innings in his rookie campaign? These are all questions we're going to find out the answers to. But my point yesterday was there's no way around it. Jackson Merrill, regardless of what Paul Skeens has done, regardless of whether he ultimately wins the award, he has been a Rookie of the Year caliber player by a ton. And when you consider, and I've said it many times, his situation entering the year at 20, the amount of limited experience he had at the upper levels of the minor leagues, The fact that he was handed a brand new, literally, a place he had never played in his life in center field. It's just remarkable. You cannot compliment Jackson Merrill enough for his numbers, for what he's done defensively in a brand new position, and for the way he just comes up with big swings and rises to the moment, rises to the occasion. You can't say enough about what he's done. So, look, Jackson, whether he wins it or not, it has been a Rookie of the Year caliber season, no doubt about that. Let's take a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard, tell you what's going on around the major leagues.
Let's take a trip around the bigs and tell you about the scores you need to know in our out-of-town scoreboard. Presented by Jensen Meat, where great taste meets integrity.
We have a couple of finals, one aside from this one in Pittsburgh today. Brewers beat up on the Braves 16-7 in Atlanta earlier today. So the Braves are struggling. Man, Brewers beat them up again today, 16-7, 16 runs on 20 hits. For the Brew Crew, games going on right now. Giants 5, Nationals 2 in the 9th inning in D.C. Mets 7, Rockies 1 in Colorado in the 6th inning. Reds at the Marlins later at 3:10. Angels in New York against the Yankees at 4:05. Orioles and the Blue Jays at 4:07. In Toronto, Tampa Bay and St. Louis. In St. Louis at 4:15. Tigers and the Mariners at 6:40 in Seattle. And finally, the Phillies in Arizona against the Diamondbacks after beating the Dodgers yesterday. The Phillies did. Arizona, right there with the Padres at the start of the day, tied for that top wild card spot. Again, 6:40 first pitch in Arizona between the D-backs and the Phillies. That's a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard. A lot of games coming up a little bit later on today. We'll step aside. When we come back, we'll have our play of the game. We'll continue to get to your phone calls, so we'll wrap it up with that. We'll get you to Gwynn and Chris today. Chris Ello, Matt Scraby, coming your way at 2 p.m. at the very top of the hour. So play of the game, your phone calls, and more when we come back. Again, the final score today, Padres 7 and the Pirates 6 on the Padres Radio Network. Our post-game show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Final score in Pittsburgh, 7-6. The Padres win it. Very nice win for the Padres once again. They sweep this 3-game series from Pittsburgh. They've won 5 in a row. They are 14-2 in their last 16 games, and we'll update you on the standings before we get out of here. It'll be Chris Ello, Matt Scraby coming your way at the very top of the hour. In fact, Chris is already here. He's prepared, ready to go in the studio. He wants me to hurry up. We were watching Team USA in Serbia. Unfortunately, the TVs here in the studio went out, so we have no idea who won. I'm not going to tell you who won because I want you to keep listening, so go find out yourself as that game went down to the wire in the Olympics out in Paris, France. We'll finish up with your phone calls here in a second. First, let's hear today's play of the game.
What was the crucial play that determined who came out on top? This is today's play of the game, presented by Bill Howe Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
Higashioka at second, 2 down. Here's the 3-2. Arise swings in the air to deep right center field. Bay was shallow. He's got to go back. It's going to be over his head and rolling up against the wall. Higashioka scores easily. An RBI double for Arise, and the Padres add on at 7-5.
Luis Arise, the RBI double in that top of the 9th inning, provided what would be a big insurance run in this game because the Pirates would get a run against Robert Suarez in the bottom half of the 9th inning to make it 7-6 and get the winning run to the plate. So for that reason, Luis Arise, that RBI double, 1 of 2 hits today for Luis, really important. And that's our play of the game. Padres don't get that RBI double from Luis, we might still be playing right now. So that was really, really critical in this ball game. And the Padres go on to win it 7-6 as they sweep the Pirates. By the way, just from the chat here, and we had that caller who was pretty tough on Ha-Sung Kim before the break. Just a good point made in the chat, and I should have brought it up at the time. You know, look, Kim was 0 for 3 today. It's been a rough offensive stretch, but credit where credit's due. You know, you can contribute in other ways even when you're not hitting super well. Had that walk in the 9th inning, continued the inning, bases loaded, set things up for Higashioka to step in. Ultimately, Cruz makes the error. So Kim did contribute with the walk in that 9th inning. All right, let's finish up with a couple of phone calls here. We'll go quickly. We got a few minutes, so make the points quick, and we will get out of here. Let's go to Hubert calling in from Point Loma. Hi, Hubert.
Hi there. Thank you for taking the call. So excited for the Padres, especially your thoughts on getting back a platinum gold glover in Tatis at the end of the season. What do you think he's going to bring, again, to the team from an offensive and defensive standpoint?
Yeah, I mean, look, Hubert, he is an MVP caliber player when he's healthy and he's hot. There's no doubt about it, and you hope you're going to get him back at some point. I mean, what we read yesterday from Kevin Acee, sounds like that's probably going to be in September. He's still in the process of working his way back, but there's no way around it. The impact of Fernando when he comes back could be absolutely huge. It could be absolutely huge. It is getting an all-star and a guy who can be an MVP-type talent back at some point. You can't even quantify it. It could be huge. Now, how's he going to fare with all this missed time? Is he going to be able to come back and get right back in the swing of things? Who knows? He's done it before, but there's no doubt the impact has the potential to be enormous. And it's a great point, and it's something we should remember, that the return of Fernando hopefully comes at some point. Joe sounds like he's going to come back this coming week. Maybe that's Monday back here at home against Pittsburgh. Getting those guys back could be a really big deal. Let's go to Larry in Encinitas. Larry, you're on the Padres postgame show. What's up?
Hi, guys. Good afternoon. Hey, I wanted to let you know how proud I am to be a Padres fan today. And the immortal words of Ringo Starr, it don't come easy. Also, want to say, what's going on with everybody throwing at Profar? I don't dig it. We got to retaliate. Thank you.
Yeah, Larry, Profar got hit 3 times in the last 2 days. And look, we'll never know if this was some retaliation. I thought it was interesting, though, when Randy Vasquez hit Ryan Reynolds with the very first pitch of the at-bat in the bottom half of the 3rd. I thought that was interesting. Now, keep in mind, these teams, and I'm not trying to stir the pot here, but it is what it is. These teams do play one another again starting on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday in San Diego. I'm a little curious to see if we see any carryover. Jerkson was clearly not happy about getting hit the final time in the ninth inning. Obviously got hit with a 95-mile-per-hour fastball yesterday, then gets hit again around the same spot in the first inning today. When I saw Vasquez hit Reynolds with that fastball, one of their better players, arguably their best player, it did raise my antenna a little bit because it was a 4-0 game. Again, I'm not trying to stir the pot too much, but it is just something to keep in mind when these two teams play one another at Petco Park starting on Monday, because Profar wasn't happy about it, and I'm sure the Padres weren't happy about Profar getting hit as many times as he did. So, you never know what could be stirring. But for now, if you're a Padres fan, and if you're the Padres, bottom line is this. You swept them. Pirates, they're clinging on to sort of the outer part of the wild card picture right now. You swept them. Wouldn't worry about it. We'll see if there's any carryover effect into Monday, that next series against Pittsburgh. As always, if you missed any of our post-game show, you can go back and listen to all of it on the Inside San Diego Baseball podcast with Sam Levitt, available on the Odyssey app or wherever you find your podcast. You can also go back and watch any portion of our post-game show on the 97.3 The Fan YouTube channel. Taking a look at the final totals in this series finale as the Padres sweep the Pirates in a 3-game series. For the Padres, 7 runs, 7 hits, no errors. They left on 5. For the Pirates, 6 runs, 12 hits, 1 error. They left on 9. Winning pitcher in this game, Jason Adam, who improves to 6-2. Losing pitcher, David Bednar, who drops to 3-4. And the save goes to Robert Suarez, his 25th of the season. Time of game at PNC Park in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, 3 hours and 1 minute, and the crowd in Western PA, 19,952. First pitch tomorrow in Miami at 4:10 p.m. Our pregame start time at 3:10. Until then, for our great studio coordinator, Frank Marchese, I'm Sam Levitt saying so long from inside our San Diego studios. Again, the final score, the San Diego Padres 7 and the Pittsburgh Pirates 6. Chris Ello, Matt Scraby coming your way next on 97.3 The Fan. We'll talk to you tomorrow on the Padres Radio Network.